An iceberg video is a video that attempts to explain the entries on an iceberg chart. An iceberg chart is a picture of an iceberg with topics plotted all over it. Topics that all branch out of this one root matter of discussion that the iceberg chart is dedicated to. As opposed to traditional top 10 or best of lists, we don't really go up the ladder to end up with the most beloved or the most popular number one something.
Watch the most popular videos of the week.
We'd rather start from the skies surrounding the iceberg to go down layer by layer on a journey to the darkest, unexplored parts of the subject, talking about each topic that comes across to end up with, in fact, the least known and most mysterious of the entries. This voyage, pun intended, takes us through the routes one may or may not be familiar with to often end up in some rather obscure corners that time seems to have forgotten completely about. Because the topics on the chart are carefully placed in such a way that the celebrated ones are done with at the very top section itself, known as Tier 1. And as we go down the tiers, the entries not only keep getting less visited like the lower sections of the iceberg, but also like the lower sections of the iceberg are darker and scarier too. All until we reach the bottom of it all, constantly baffled with details hidden from many for whatever reasons. Needless to say, the person who designs an iceberg has an extensive knowledge about the topic or a wild passion to research, or maybe both. So I always start the video and the description by thanking the maker of that particular iceberg. These creations really go against the grain when it comes to the top 10 lists that we've spent our childhood watching, unconsciously accepting the notion that such lists should always end with the very obvious, the topmost, the best of the best thing that is out there, be it a song or movie or what have you. All that being said though, I do think there is something that the iceberg concept slightly lacks when compared to a traditional countdown. And that is the anticipation of that big finish, which kept us biting our nails through the course of it, just guessing and waiting for the climactic entry that the show is gonna end with. Sure, the entries in the iceberg chart keep getting more intense, but each tier has multiple subtopics that usually are not placed in the tier in any particular order. It is thought that everything in one tier has the same level of appeal. Even in the final tier, when doing an iceberg explanation video, there is no such order that is followed or indicated in the iceberg. Maybe it's just me and that's just what the very nature of the iceberg charts is. But even if I'm comparing apples and oranges, I'm curious enough to test this out. And I'd be happy to see if we can apply that good old countdown show's excitement in the boldness of these icebergs. And so this is my lazy little solution to it. And this is as new to me as it may be to you, so we'll just experiment and see how it goes. Let's scrub these icebergs a little and take every tier as a list, going over every entry in a sequence so that it hopefully gets more amazing than the earlier entry in that particular tier, ending with that one topic in each tier which stands out the most in some way. In my humble opinion anyway, of course. We can have a little winner each time we move on to the next level. We won't mix tiers for any of the entries to keep the essence of the iceberg chart intact. The entry that's most amazing to me in each tier can very well be different than your picks, as they ideally should be, because that's why opinions are interesting. So yeah, I appreciate your time. Off soon shall be the disguise. Let's start with touching the skies.